The Dixie fire is making a run, and it's disconcerting to us because the smoke is kind of going overhead. That's the sun up there. And even though it's still quite a ways from us, it's very disconcerting to see the smoke column going so close to overhead. So I spent all day today getting the needles off the roof and cleaning around the buildings, but who knows what's going to happen. I'm prepared for the worst, hoping for the best. This spot fire right here is the one I'm concerned about. Where we live is right over here. We live right there. So here's Round Valley Reservoir, and that spot fire has a potential of running up this drainage right here, Rush Creek, which leads all the way up to Long Valley, which gets up into this country where Round Valley Reservoir is. And that is the problem for me. Fire is, fairly large. Burned around Butt Lake. Well, it's been a couple days since that last segment of video that I was showing the smoke. Fire's still visible here. Late in the day, mostly the smoke will come back over the top of us. We're in clear air right here, and that's a good thing, but fire is spotted into the Rush Creek drainage, which is exactly what I was hoping wasn't going to happen, and what I was afraid was going to happen. And sure enough, that is going to be very troublesome because there's a solid fuel bed between there and Round Valley Reservoir. Well, not Round Valley, but Long Valley. And it's just probably worst case scenario is to get fire in that Rush Creek drainage. And that's what's going on. They said they're going to have a plan to deal with it, but their plans haven't worked yet, so I have a real problem with some of their plans. But I'm not out in the ground. I don't know, it's easy to armchair quarterback, but I still think this is going to be a real bad thing, and we're getting ready to be evacuated. Not so much that I'm going to stay here, but Karen is going to leave, and then I got to get the fifth wheel out of here, and got a few things to get done. I'm not too happy about the turn of events, but not unexpected at all. So I think I'll just continue videoing daily what's going on, just to have some documentation. We'll see how it goes, and if it turns out that fire does come down, it's going to be coming down the hill that's up behind us, and it's probably not going to have a head on it coming this way because we're on the flank, so that's a good thing. However, we could still have a lot of spot fires here in the yard and around the house, and I'm sure there'll be a fire truck parked here, as well as probably every other house on this block. And if that's the case, then they shouldn't have any trouble holding this area or saving these structures, because they're sitting pretty good shape. I got clearance around everything, been clearing things out. There's one little thicket right up here by Joyce's place that I don't want to take out. Right there, and that's kind of our block for neighbors, you know, looking into our property. So I don't want to take that out, and I'm not going to. And just have to watch that closely. And if the firefighters want to take it out and they have to, then I'll let them, but I'll try to talk them out of it. And my safety zone is right out there in that field. If things really go haywire and I got to get out of here, that's where I'm going, out there. It's a great safety zone. Better than most safety zones I've ever been to, actually. Later that same day, we got evacuated. So we're moving the fifth wheel out to North Arm. Things don't look good. So we'll see how it goes. When I get back, I got to move some of the furniture inside. So everybody needs a little excitement in their life, don't they? This is maybe a little more excitement than I like, but we definitely are in the midst of it here. This fire is not that close, but just in case, they're just doing the evacuation ahead of time just to make sure that everybody gets out. So it was kind of surprising that they didn't do a warning that was just automatic time to evacuate type thing, and that was a surprise to us. So anyway, we shall see how it goes. Tonight should be okay. Tomorrow, questionable. So doesn't look too good up there. Got some black smoke there. Should lay down a little bit tonight, but we'll find out where it went, what it got into. Anyway, so Karen's on her way to Christus, so things will be good. I'm walking in through the field. Kind of eerie walking up to the house, seeing that smoke like that. It's kind of dark here. Sun's getting shaded out by the smoke. Definitely an eerie sight here. That smoke there is coming from the fire started over at Butterfly Valley, called the Fly Fire. And it's going up the other side of Mount Huff. And I don't know how far it's going to go. They might pick it up tonight, but it's pushing pretty hard up the hill. The cams, you can see a lot of fire, a lot of flames, torching a lot of trees and running through the crowns. The one over here that's threatening us is still quite a ways down the canyon from here. A lot of ash has fallen. There's a whole lot of ash all over everything. Nothing's hot, but still a lot of ash fall. It's a very strange evening. So Karen's over in Quincy or Susanville right now. Looks like she's at McDonald's or someplace getting something to eat, which is good. I'll feel a lot better about it when she gets to Krista's. Next morning, let's see, the 27th today, I think. 23rd, July 23rd. Pretty calm this morning. The valley's not too smoky, but you can see the smoke up on Mount Huff from the fire on the other side of Mount Huff. That has really got me worried. They evacuated Taylorsville, which is out there, last night, but with the prevailing winds what they've been, that fire could end up going to the what would be the right side of Mount Huff from here and come up the Indian Creek drainage. And if it does that, oh my God, things are going to be real bad. So the fire back over in Rush Creek is still working its way up Rush Creek, and sent a lot of junk flying down. A lot of ashes fell here yesterday. So I'll spend today getting ready again. Still got a few more things to do. And that green spot out there is where I'll be going if I have to get out of here. So we'll see how it goes today. There's some pieces of my forest right there. Burned up pine needles, chunks of wood. Quite a few. Quite a bit of ash fall. But see the smoke coming over Mount Huff, pretty heavy. The good thing, believe it or not, but the good thing is that flag is not moving. And when the flag's not moving, then the fire is not going to be moving that fast. So that's good. That fire over on Mount Huff is definitely putting up a big column, but it looks like it's going pretty much straight up in the air. I forgot to say it's 12:57, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, by 1 o'clock yesterday, the wind was blowing pretty good. So the fact that it's not blowing now, that's a real good thing. Well, it's 2:24. The fly fire's putting up all that smoke, and it's doing a pretty good, it's making a pretty good run by the looks of it on the cams from over in Quincy. A lot of ash falling here. Just had a visit from a fire crew that was doing triage on the structures, and they felt like this is a very good defensible spot here. So that's a good thing that they felt the same way I did, which I probably would have disagreed with them if they didn't agree with me, but at any rate, it's since it's early afternoon and it's so dark out here, it's kind of disconcerting. Even though that fire is probably not going to threaten us just yet, but if it spots over the top of Mount Huff and gets into that, or runs up the Indian Creek drainage, things are going to get real interesting around here. So that's the sun in pretty much the middle of the day. A lot of ashes, chunks of wood and debris everywhere. 3:15, and there's a little wind blowing now. It's coming out of the north, and I'm not sure if the wind shifted or if the fire on Mount Huff is drawing in. Sometimes a big fire will draw air in like this. So I can't really tell if that's what's going on. Not really seeing a defined column like it was before. So it could be a wind shift, which might be a good thing. Might not be a good thing for Quincy area, but certainly be a good thing for our area. Still pretty smoky here, but not as dark as it was about an hour ago. 4:08, and the fire on the other side of Mount Huff is blowing up big time, and which is why it looks this way over here. Of course, I have my own little smoke going on here. I'm barbecuing. A lot of ash falling out of the sky, and none of it's hot, I'm sure. It's quite a ways out, but it's going to burn all the way to the top of Mount Huff, I'm sure. Hopefully it doesn't slop over much, but if it does, hopefully they can do something about it. So there's a fire truck or something coming down the street right now. Not sure what they're going to do here. Well, let's see, July 24th. It's just before 5 in the morning. Haven't been sleeping real good. And this morning I'm strangely emotional about this whole thing. Starting to lose hope that they're going to be able to do anything to keep this fire out of our communities over here on this side of the mountain along the Highway 89 corridor. And so things are starting to look a little more hopeless than they did before. So trying to keep a stiff upper lip, so to speak, but it's kind of hard to do. I think maybe part of the deal is that I've been not sleeping well. So you get a little tired and you start getting emotional about things. So at any rate, I looked at the map this morning and it's not good. Fire's getting closer and closer to this mountain behind me, and I'm afraid it's going to get established in the Indian Creek drainage and make a run into the Crescent Mills area, and that's going to really threaten our property here. Not to mention all the other folks that live in this area. So they don't seem to be able, or I'm not going to say they're not trying, but they don't seem to be able to deal with that piece of the fire, and it's troubling. So anyway, after the sun comes up, I'll get some more video and we'll see what happens today. It's like 6:45. That's the sun. Of course, we've seen it that way before. Last year in the Bear Fire, it was kind of like that. But one thing we didn't see in the Bear Fire was this. Look at the size of the material that's been falling out of the sky. And just goes to show you how the convection column can pick up debris. And kind of all over the balcony here. I'm going to sweep this off. I just thought I'd get a little video of it first. It's all over the deck down there too, but if I want to walk out here, I want to track this stuff in, assuming of course that we're going to have a house in the next couple of days. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Well, at this point things aren't getting any better. Haven't got any worse just yet, but kind of in a holding pattern right now. The fire's looks like it's getting pretty well established down in the Indian Valley, or the Indian Creek drainage. which is not good. And the only thing that's going to be our redeeming virtue here is going to be the fact is if the wind doesn't come up. But I don't know about that because I think it's going to. So anyway, I did what I really didn't believe I was going to have to do. I filled up the truck with everything I can put in there, everything Karen told me to make sure I got, and I've got just about everything I can get in there. I might be able to put a few more things in there, but I'm gonna go down and video everything that's in the basement and get so I can get a little inventory on what's down there in case the worst happens. If we get the strong southwest wind this afternoon, this area is might be looking a lot different by tonight, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong. I really do. Oh, let's see, 12:25 on the 24th July. We're not too smoked in right now, which is a good thing. The wind's not blowing. The little wind vane thing's moving there, but the flag's not really moving much, so that's all good. I went out here, FedEx says they delivered something here, so I went out here to check and there was nothing there, but when I did, I saw something on the mailbox. I thought maybe something I want to put in this video. So here it is. There's a person here. That'd be me. 100 feet, I'm not sure what that is. There's a water source here. 3 structures, propane tank, and a pond for a water source. So that was the triage people left that. So got everything pretty well opened up around here. I'm found a few more things to get done today. That I cleaned out a gutter that I'd forgotten about, and that gutter right over there, I had to clean that out. And I got the tractor on charge. I couldn't get it started, so I'm gonna move the tractor up and put it in some a green spot and get it away from that barn. That barn is definitely going to be a hard thing to save if the fire comes running through here, like I hope it doesn't, but you know, you kind of think it might. And that barn is probably going to be history, but gosh, I hope not, because not that we have anything in there, but if we have that, if that was on fire, that much intensity this close to the house would not be good. And plus I have these piles I haven't burned yet. So that's not a good thing. So hopefully that won't happen. See all the ash. And there's some pretty good sized things that fell out of the sky. That's not too big, but found some big chunks. Let's see, 2:23 in the afternoon. It's getting pretty dark. Some ash falling out of the sky. Nothing big, but quite a bit of ash. You can see it on the deck and the table. Some of this fell, a lot of this fell yesterday though. So the good thing is that flag is not flapping. So as long as that continues, it's a good thing. That keeps the intensity of the fire down, so it's not making any major runs toward us. A couple days ago, the wind was just howling through here. That's the day they evacuated us. So Today, much calmer. Yesterday was pretty calm too. So I got the tractor out of the stall down there and put it over here underneath the apple tree, which is probably a really good spot for it, considering the apple tree will catch any hot embers that come flying down, and which isn't happening yet, but you know, probably going to. The top of my truck covered with chunks of wood and bark and pine needles. And this is the cam view from up on the hill above Indian Valley. Yeah, that's where the fires, that's actual time. That's what's going on right now. And here we are. We're right down here. And here's where that cam is located. It's not very far away. And you can see it's burning real hot up there. That's why outside it is very dark right now, and it's 20 minutes to 3. Hopefully this doesn't burn the cam out. Been using that cam a lot on this fire. That cam shot that I was just showing you is from there's a mountain up there, and that's where that cam is located, up there, and maybe a little over to the right behind these trees, but up in that direction. My guess is that we'll be able to see the fire up on the hill tonight if the smoke allows it, but I think it may be visible from the valley tonight. And that's the fly fire. The Dixie fire is more down the canyon from here, and I don't know what that one's doing now that the Indian ridge cam is kind of smoked in, and you can't really look across and see what's going on over there. Really kind of dark out here now. Not getting as much ash fall as I would expect, because that thing just took out a lot of country in a short period of time. No, the sun's not going down. The fire up on the hill's putting all this smoke in the air and really blocking out the sun. Matter of fact, I can't even see where the sun is. It's so thick. It's up there somewhere. But it's run to the top of the ridge, and it's stopped over, it looks like, and it's probably going to be backing down the hill over there. This evening I might walk out in the valley and see if I can see it. Although if the smoke doesn't clear off, I won't be able to see anything. Well, looks like tonight might be the night. When I was in Yellowstone in 1988, there was a guy, an old guy, that was running the show, and we were doing structure protection at some old cabins. And he told us, he says, "It's coming down the hills, boys." And then it didn't come down the hill for a couple hours later. We were still hanging out there. Then we hear from him again. "Yeah, here it comes, boys. It's coming down the hill." And it still didn't come down the hill. So it was funny though, because he had this accent that was kind of, you know, old guy accent. So it was pretty funny anyway. So I remember that from 1988. Funny I can remember back that far, huh? I'm not sure. It's not confirmed, but pretty good information that it's burned half of Indian Falls, the little town of Indian Falls. About 50% of the buildings is what I heard. Again, don't know if it's true. Paxton, according to another source, which again is hearsay but could be true, said Paxton is gone, which Paxton is a pretty small little settlement, but it'd be a shame if that burned. But if it did, well, The best thing we got going for us right now is there's no wind. It's calm. Fire's coming up the canyon from down there. It's gotten a little bit lighter. It was dark as night here a little while ago, and now it's I even came out with a flashlight because it was so dark, but now it's lightened it up a little bit. The fire crew that was here told me that the fire was down at still down in Indian Falls, about 3 miles away. So, and they haven't deployed structure protection in here yet because the fire hasn't gotten to Crescent Mills yet. So, just kind of hoping for the best on this deal, and I've already planned for the worst. I've got everything loaded in the truck, which is something I never thought I was going to have to do, but I did. And I mean, everything that we thought was really important. So I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. I can see that already. But it's still early. It's only 6:53. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back in and watch the evening briefing. Still have internet and power, but that may not last long. If the fire does get in here and burn it with any intensity, it's going to take out the power lines and the internet lines, which come in on my phone line. I just sat through the most ridiculous waste of time of any briefing I've seen yet with this management team. These guys haven't got a clue on how to do a briefing. And some of the presenters, the forest supervisor from the Plumas, take his microphone and shove it up. Never mind. But I'm telling you, that was the biggest waste of time I've ever seen. They said nothing. They didn't tell anybody anything. They didn't give anybody any information about the questions they were asking. It's pathetic. I'm very disappointed, to say the least. But looks like things have died down a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on because they didn't talk about it at the briefing. I mean, you got a briefing. There's a fire just down the road here, and I want to know what's going on, and I'm not getting that information. So, I mean, I guess I could jump in my truck and drive down there, but I'm not going to do that. But that may be the only way to figure out what's going on. Anyway, I'm just fed up with this whole thing.